Is there anyone can remind me what is the formula to calculate the volume of the cylinder? How you will calculate the volume of the cylinder? Yes,
by
volume equal what?
by radius over bar 2
By,
multiply
yes,
radius square multiply
it will be by r square times what? Times height.
height.
And what's by r square donate for? What by r square donate for? This part means what and this part means what? By r square donate for area of base. Okay, so this one is area of base. And the base of cylinder is circle, then we will calculate the area of the circle. The second part, this one represent what? The height of the cylinder. Then in case we have a question like this and we are looking for the height, we will only substitute the value for each part. How? We will replace V and put instead of it how many? 5,230. This is equal. What is the value of pi? If he mentioned the value of pi in the question, so it's compulsory to use it. If he didn't mention the value of pi in the question, so it's up to you to use 3.14 hundredths or 22/7. Then we can use anyone. He didn't mention the value of pi in this question. Then we can use 3.14 times, what is the value of r in this question?
14.
14. So it will be 14 and then 14 to the power of 2 times what? Times h. Then 14 to the power of 2, then times h. What about if I want to find or to calculate the value of h? What we have to do now? What we have to do to find the value of h? We can simplify this part. So this one is 196 times 3.14 hundred. It will be 615. I can write now then 5,230 equal 615.44 h, right? So I'm looking for the value of h. So the value of h, it will be what? Grade 8, 5,230 divided by 615.44. Then the value of h equal, it will be how many?
4.
How many? 5.
8.4.
8.4. Sure? 2, 3, 0. 615 point. Sure? 0.44. 8.49, right? 8.49 and we can say approximately it will be how many?
8.5.
Exactly. So we can say approximately equal 4 equal 8.5. Why 8.5? Why 8.5? Because we have
Because we rounded it.
Yes, we rounded it. We have 9 and 9 is more than 5. Then we will add 1 to 4. Then the answer it will be 8.5. So in this question, in case he will give us the volume and already we know the value of pi, and he gave us the radius, then he is looking for the value of h. Then how we will find the value of h? The value of h in this case, it will be 8.5. Then from the beginning, Hannah, we can say that if we are looking for h, we will solve for h. We will solve for h means that you have to keep only h and remove anything next to it. Then I can write it from the beginning. Then h equal v, which is the volume, divided by times what? By times r square. Okay, Hannah? So we can solve the question from the beginning. Solve for h. It will be v over by r square. Okay? Right. Let me ask my dear students, if I'm looking for the value of r, how we can solve for r in this question? How we will solve for r? I'm going to erase all of this. Okay? And I'm going to keep the formula. And I want to solve for r. If I'm looking for the value of r, this is the volume, right? And we said if I'm looking for h, it will be volume divided by r square. What about if you want to find the value of r? It will be what? Anyone can tell me? If I want to solve for r, which means we want to keep r, right? Then we will remove by and we will remove h. But take care that you have r square and you are looking for r. So we can say, Kenzie, do you know?
Miss, I don't remember, but I
Okay.
will remember. I'm
Mm.
thinking of it.
Let me remind you, honey, and remind the rest of the class. If you want to work with this one, if I'm looking for r, then you can work step by step that r square, we want to keep r square, so we have to remove anything next to it like v and like h and by. So it will be v divided by,
Square root of volume divided by height.
listen, it will be like this, right? So r square, it will be volume divided by times h. But we are looking for r, so we have to keep it under the radical sign. For this reason, I said from the beginning, if you want to find r, then it will be square root v over,
Height by?
yes, by times height. Understood this part? Then you can use a formula. You can change the formula to solve for r, to solve for h, right? And to calculate the volume. It's up to you. So this was your question, Johanna. Do you have any other question?
No, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? You want any question?
Miss, we can use this formula or this step in the cones also?
Yes, in the cone also. Because did you remember what is the volume of the cone, Kenzie? Volume.
Yes, will be 1/3
Yes.
by
Just a second.
radius
I'm right.
r square height.
Okay. Then volume of cone, it will be third by r squared times what? Times height, right? By r squared times height. By r squared times what? Times height. So this is the volume. If I'm looking for height, but wait for something. This third, I can write it like the volume equal If I want to write it like a fractional form, so it will be 3. And at the top, I can write by r square times what? Times height. Then we can write it third, or we can write by r square times height. Over what? Over 3. If you want to calculate the volume, then you will use the formula directly. But the tricky question, or another type of questions, in case if I'm looking for the value of h, then you have to use what you already studied before for solving equation or solve for a variable. So I can imagine that I'm going to put v over 1, then we will use cross product to answer. How? I will make first 3 times v and then 1 times by r squared times h. Then at the beginning, we are going to write that 3v equal. In this case, I want to solve for h, or in another way, find the height. Okay, then we are going to make cross multiplication. 3 times v, it will be 3v. 1 times by r square, it will be by r square times what? Times height. Now we want to solve for what? Grade 8. We want to solve for what?
Height.
For height, yes, which is height. So I'm going to keep height and I will remove anything next to it, which means how we are going to remove it? We will divide both sides by any variable next to h. Then the answer, it will be, we will divide by r square, and the opposite side here, I'm going to divide by r square. Then we will cancel by r square with by r square, and we will keep only h equal 3v over by r square. Okay, so this was your question, Kinsey. What about if you want to find r? If you want to find r, so we will keep r square and we will remove by times h. But by the end, we have to put them all under the radical sign because this is r square and we are looking for r. Then for any question, solve for the variable first and then substitute the value which he gives it to you in the question and then start to solve the question. Any questions so far, grade 8?
Miss Hella, can you use an example?
For which part? The last
This
part
one?
to find h?
Yes.
H? Okay. I can say f, the volume of cone is 4,550 and its radius was 21 inch. Find its height. Okay, so the question, this is the question for working solve for h. What is the first step we have to do it here in this question? What is the first step we have to do it?
Write the formula.
Exactly, we have to write the formula. Then, Judy, the formula for volume of what? Of what cone? right?
Cone on the
Then the volume
base.
of cone equal what?
By multiply R2.
Again,
By multiply R2.
we have third.
Radius.
Third, don't forget. Third,
Oh, okay.
right? So we have third by R square, which is the area of the base, times height. And as I said, if you want to write it like volume equal by R square times height over how many? Over 3, right? So we will make what, grade 8? We will make what?
Question mark.
Yes, we want to solve for h, so we will make cross multiplication, which it will be 3v equal by R square times what? Times height. We want to solve for what, grade 8? We want to find the value of what?
Height.
Height. So we have to divide it both sides by how many?
By radius for 2.
Thank you. So we will divide it by radius power 2, and the opposite side the same. We will divide it by radius power 2, and then we will cancel what? We will cancel by r square with by r square, which means we have h it will be equal 3v over by r square. Now we will only substitute. Okay, so first of all, we will write the formula, and then we will back and look for which variable he want to calculate it. So in this question, he want to calculate h. So we will write h equal 3v over by r square. Then h, it will be equal 3 times, what is the value of v, grade 8? What is the value of v in this question? It was what?
4250.
250. And down we would write the value of pi. He didn't mention the value of pi. So if the number of the radius can divisible by 7, we can use 22 over 7. If it's not, we can use 3.14. Or if you mentioned already the value of pi in the question. So in anyway, by the end we have the same answer. Then it will be 3, or we can use 3.14 times the value of r was 21. So it will be 21 all to the power of 2, and then we will simplify. Did anyone calculate it and tell me the answer? 3 times 4,250 over 3
And 9.20.
times 21 to the power of 2. To the answer, yes, Johanna, 9.20. Okay, and this one was the height. Then we will use, for example, if this one was inch cubic, so the height, it will be what? It will be only inch.
Miss, this is for the cone only, صح?
This one for the cone, yes. This rule, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. So this rule, because we said we studied already volume of cylinder and volume of cone. Volume of cylinder by r squared times height. Volume of cone third by r squared times height. Okay, so was an example in case if he will give us the volume and he's looking for the height, or even sometimes he will give us the volume and he's looking for the radius. Okay, any question? Understood this part?
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome. Then a formula to calculate a distance between 2 points, it was x2 minus x1 all to the power of 2 plus y2 minus y1 all to the power of 2. Then this one represent x1 and this is represent y1. This is x2 and this is y2, right? Then we will substitute x2 d minus 7 all to the power of 2 plus negative 1 minus negative 5, which means it will be plus 5 all to the power of 2. This is equal how many? This is equal 4, which means I have d minus 7 plus negative 1 plus 5, it will be equal 4. All to the power of 2 equal how many? 4 power 2 equal how many? Equal 16. This is equal
16.
4. If I want to remove a radical sign now, then we will make all to the power of 2 and all to the power of 2. To remove a radical sign, then you have d minus 7 all to the power of 2. خلاص, we remove a radical sign plus 16. This is equal 16. I will remove 16 to the opposite side, so I have d minus 7 all power 2. 16 minus 16 equal how many? Equal 0. Square root to remove power 2, then d minus 7 equal 0. Then what is the value of d which will make this equation equal 0? 7. Then if you will substitute now the value of d by 7, then the distance between the 2 points, it will be equal 4. So this is a special case once we have a distance and we are looking for the variable. Is this your question, Fadia?
Miss, بس I still can't understand after اللي هو after يعني radical sign بعد d minus 7 plus 16 power of 2.
بصي, because we have less than minutes, so I will try to continue. If the time up, watch the video again, please, okay? And we can continue tomorrow. So we have d, yeah, till this point, you know, you understood till this point? D minus 7 all to the power of 2, okay. If I want to remove this radical sign, so I have to say all to the power of 2.